Hello everybody, Muttley here and welcome to the Road Atlanta round of the TASCAR series. I messed up the recording slightly so you're getting a slightly different intro, but the end result is still really the same. You can see that I'm 5th on the grid, which is all I ever really show when I show the starting grid. So let's move on to the start of the race here in the typical 2x2 fashion. Bit of a tricky start here. We dropped the start speed from 80 down to 60 just because there's such a short run from the last corner to the line, and something I mentioned at Silverstone, I believe, although that might have been in the BGT video. A little bit of chaos at turn 1. The car behind me got a ridiculously good start and ended up taking out someone that started in front of me, whilst I got the better of the car that started alongside me. So yes, definitely a hectic start, but that does mean it's a pretty good one for me. Obviously the grid lined up so that odds were on the right, so I qualified 5th and started alongside 6th on my left. So it's a good job I did get the better of the car alongside me, which meant that I held my position, my qualifying position from him, and then that means I have gained one, as you can see, up into 4th place. Although the car behind me had a bit of a dodgy qualifying. We expect to see him a lot further up the grid, so I'm not holding out on keeping him behind for particularly long. We're coming towards the end of the first lap now though, and he is still in my mirror, so that's a good thing. And like I said, sitting pretty in P4, not a lot to talk about. He's going to go for a move up the inside. Is he going to get past me before even one lap's gone? Looks like I've just about held the position. There's a little bit more contact coming out of the chicane. Tell you what, that looks like that means that the other car behind him has got a run, although round the last corner you really don't want to be going too wide, so we all slip back into single file. End of lap 3 then, and someone goes off ahead. Like I did say, you don't want to be going too wide around that final corner, and that's kind of why, because it's hard enough at the best of times. When I believe that was the guy that was leading the race, he's dropped down into 2nd now. I've checked up to look over at the right hand side to see what's going on, and the car behind me has moved over to my left, and he's going to go around the outside at the kink at the top of the hill. That was an absolutely fantastic move. Like I said, not really expecting to be in front of him, so what the hell? Yeah, got caught out by that. I think someone went off slightly down the S's and rejoined and just caught up in a bit of chaos. So we had a caution, because that was quite a big crash, and a whopping 2 cars decided to go into the pits. One of them from in front of me, and because of the cars that crashed as well, that means I'm in P2 in the Crocodile, as we're running around at 60 mile an hour. So another lap later, and it's finally time for the restart. Like I said, just the 2 cars that went into the pit, so everyone else yet to make their stop, and away we go. I think I've prided myself in getting pretty good restarts lately, especially in TASCAR. I think I've mentioned it a couple of times, been sitting right on the bumper of the car behind. This one was awful for a number of reasons. It just wasn't the best jump in general. And then I go and do this at turn 1, and when the entire pack's all there, I've literally just dropped myself 10 positions. You know, a nice, handy, gifted 2nd place that I held for, you know, well, I suppose technically I held it for over a lap under caution, but that doesn't really count, does it? You know, it was certainly quite annoying. And I think I've mentioned this a few times throughout this series. There's just little mistakes that I seem to keep making, and I just don't know why. There's a couple of times, I think, at Road America and Sonoma, I've managed to tap the handbrake going through a corner and threw me off onto the grass, and both of those was just after getting past someone. I mean, GT300 series, there was that whole debacle at Bathurst with the pitting, and I mean these are Watkins Glen in the BGT as well. That was yikes. That's just a depressing thought train. I'm going to try and move on. I've made up 1 position, obviously with an entire pack in front of me. You'd like to think they're going to hold each other up. Obviously, when you're in clean air, you're likely to be quicker. So yeah, I caught up pretty quickly. I wasn't exactly a million miles away from the pack anyway, and I have made up 1 position. Can we make it 2 going into the chicane? No, not on this occasion. It looks like they're 3 wide up ahead, and 2 cars have run each other out wide. So that's another 2 positions for me, and there's someone else that was checking up as well. But I've decided I'm going to go into the pits. It's definitely, almost definitely going to be a 2-stop race this, and I believed that lap 7 was the earliest you could pit and still make it on 2 stops. Or is it? Yeah, because I'm only going to make 1 more stop from now on. So the 2 cars that pit under caution, I didn't think were going to make it to the end. And that was what, lap 7 or something? I wasn't really counting. Yeah, I think it was lap 7. And we've jumped all the way to lap 16 now, because that was the first time somebody else pit. And then on lap 22, is someone else going to... Am I going to jump someone else as they come out the pits? No, someone's going to come out the pits in front of me. And I mean, I've just jumped 15 laps in the space of 15 seconds. Not a lot was really happening. I was the only person that decided to go for that early pit strategy. Obviously, the couple of people pit even earlier under the caution, but everyone else seemed to be leaving it much, much later. So it was largely a boring race for me that was really going to unfold towards the end of the race when everybody did indeed make their 2 stops. So that was lap 22. This is lap 23. You can see the car just up ahead of us. And no one else is in the pit on this particular lap, but it's worth telling you what happens because, well, that happened. Lap 23, going into turn 1, my laptop crashed, so I don't have any footage for the rest of the race. And then when I did finish the race, I was going to go immediately and try and record the last 5 minutes on Xbox DVR. Completely forgot to do that as well. So yeah, this is what I got when I tried to record the last 5 minutes. I just got the results because I did it too late. Yeah, it's not the end of the world really, because I had, as you might have been able to tell from the latter part of the live recording, a very, very, very quiet and lonely race. I was just jumping people through the pits throughout. I think I was up into 7th by the time that the first round of pit stops was complete, and 5th by the time the second round of pit stops were complete. There's a couple of people made their second pit stops really rather late. I came under a bit of pressure from the guy in 6th. I think that was the guy that you saw come out the pits ahead of me. So I defended from him a little bit late on. You can see the finish times are quite close. But yeah, it wasn't the most exciting race anyway, so if my laptop is going to crash and scrap up a recording, at least it was this one. And hey, I recovered to 5th after that mistake, so that's where I started. Pretty happy with that, and I'm very happy with what is on your screen right now. 3rd place in the standings, I'll take that. Obviously Assassin doing very well as well, and also jumping up into the top page is our 3rd team member, Anon Kaliga. And on to the team standings then, and we're still leading, and there's only 2 rounds to go. I'm getting quite excited. I'm also a round behind still of videos, so hopefully you'll have the next one up in a couple of days, and it's only a couple of days until I take part in the real life finale, so that will hopefully be with you next week as well. I do hope you stick around to watch the rest of this series. I hope you've enjoyed this one. I mean, there wasn't really a lot really to see, but nonetheless, thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.